Welcome to the BEASTwriter family, where social media engagement is encouraged. I am your host, Ryan Sakamoto, and today we are going to be discussing and making sense of the news of Justin Fields having his second pro day and the teams that are attending. Obviously, you have the San Francisco 49ers, you have the Atlanta Falcons, and you also have the New England Patriots. So we're not going to waste anyone's time. We're just going to dive right into it. Before we go ahead and do that, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for subscribing to my channel. Just be sure to turn on and flip on the bell notifications so you get notified when I go live or when I upload content. Also, I'm looking at analytics and I'm seeing 63% of you guys are liking all my stuff, watching all my videos, but have yet to subscribe to my channel. So please do me a solid and go ahead and do that. Also, we are giving away this winner. I didn't give away the winner last Friday, but the winner was announced, and the winner of this 49ers Fit founding members t-shirt goes to Susanna Hernandez. So Susanna Hernandez, if you're watching, you are the winner of this BEASTwriter family giveaway for the family t-shirt. You have 1 week from today to claim your prize, and we will go ahead and get that out to you. Also, we are also giving away this 49ers farewell season, the Candlestick Park flag. This was actually supposed to be given to Anthony Lozano. We are giving this away because it's been 2 weeks now, and I want to give this to a loyal follower. So again, if you subscribe to my channel, you'll be entered for this farewell season, the Candlestick flag, as you see here. Also, if you're not a Niner fan, not to worry, just head over to the team store and we got some goodies there for you as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I know you guys have a lot of questions, so we're just going to dive right into it. All right. For us, Ultimate Report says, what's up, Beast and all of the BEASTwriter family? How you guys doing? I hope you're doing well, John J., and everything's well with you. He says, what do you think of the 49ers coaching calling plays for Fields or Lance? I think this is a really good idea, mainly because obviously you're going to run plays for Trey Lance and Justin Fields Pro Day on plays that are designed specifically for your specific offense. So what you're going to see is a lot of play action passes. All right, let's not get into the details about it. That's basically what it's going to be. I talked about this with Mike Schumann. If you watch my live stream with Mike Schumann on Sunday, we discussed this, what the Niners like to do under Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan, under the West Coast offense, even under the great Bill Walsh, who he played for, is the play action pass. You can't do that with Mack Jones. You can't run naked play action pass with Mack Jones. With Justin Fields, you can. You can do that with Justin Fields. You can do that with Trey Lance, which is why I have Justin Fields going to number 3 to the San Francisco 49ers if Zach Wilson is not available. Again, I told you guys from day one, the Mack Jones was a huge smokescreen. If he was indeed the quarterback, why would they have to go and attend Justin Fields Pro Day? And I know what Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are going to say. We're going to leave no stone left unturned. However, that's fool's gold to think that they're not getting Justin Fields ahead of Mack Jones. I'm telling you right now. And who reported it that said, oh, Mack Jones is their number one choice today, but we don't know about tomorrow. I mean, for now, he's the choice, but we don't know. Well, yeah, because he's most likely not the choice in the first place. It's going to be Justin Fields or Trey Lance if Zach Wilson's off the board. That's my thinking process there, and I'm sticking to it, and that's why you guys follow me, because I put my balls on the line every single day with every single prediction, and I stick to my guns. All right, Peter Moa says, what is up, brother? Been waiting for another one of your videos. Thank you so much, mahalo for the love. Yes, I haven't been on. They're doing construction at the house, so it's been very difficult to kind of get my podcast in. I get in where I can fit in, and I'm getting in a long one here today. Hopefully, I can go on. I know this is crazy. I don't know how long this is going to go, but as long as possible. I'm going to do this podcast as long as I can go. So we're at 4 o'clock. We'll see how long it goes. But thank you so much, Peter, and mahalo for the love. He says, I think the coach play calling is a good idea to understand the quarterbacks better on what they're at. Exactly. And again, look for the naked bootlegged. Look for the naked bootlegs, the play action pass. You're going to want to see how Trey Lance and Justin Fields throw off platform on the run, specifically going across the grain. So when you're rolling out and you run a naked bootleg, what you want to see is field vision and accuracy when it pertains to putting the ball on the proper shoulder. Again, Mike Schumann, if you missed the live stream with my man Mike Schumann on Sunday, go ahead and you can watch that after this podcast. It was a live stream that was up, but it's uploaded as a video. So in case you missed it, you can go back and see what Mike Schumann had to say about that. He played under the West Coast offense. He played under the great Bill Walsh. He played behind center with Joe Montana being his quarterback. So with that being said, obviously Mike Schumann knows what he's talking about. Echoing my analysis, hits it on the nail when he says, if you're looking for a mobile quarterback, someone who can open up the offense, who's those quarterbacks going to be? It's not Mack Jones. It's not Mack Jones. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Chris Wyatt says, that's a badass flag. Well, thank you so much, man. And again, all you have to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel right here. Just go to youtube.com/BEASTwriter, Chris, and you'll be entered to win. Just social media engagement is encouraged here in the BEASTwriter family, and you can go ahead and be entered for the swag that we have exclusively here on the BEASTwriter family. All right, Kim Ferrison says, what's up, Beast? Explain why these so-called experts insist on Mack Jones to 49ers. Kim, my man from Hofstra Recruit, getting back to your question, man, it's just a smokescreen. It's just a smokescreen. I'm not buying the smoke. Again, when that news came out, what'd I do? I went on a live stream. I said, don't read into the smoke. It's going to be Justin Fields if Zach Wilson's off the board. Fast forward to today. What's going on? Kyle Shanahan's going to be leading the pro day drills for Justin Fields. Why? If Mack Jones was the guy all along. And for some people say, well, there's no reason for the 49ers to throw smokescreen because they hold the number 3 overall pick. Uh-huh. Cool story, bruh. Robert Watson, thank you so much for the super sticker. Mahalo for the love, my man. I see you. Always a pleasure. And I hope you had fun with your In-N-Out. We always have In-N-Out discussions, me and Robert Watson. If you watch the drop-down comments, it's not just all football. It's not just all fitness here. We talk about life in general, foods that we like to eat. We talk about El Amigo Burrito. We talk about In-N-Out. I think Robert Watson, what did you have? You had like a tri-tip or something recently? You're a lucky man. I'm kind of hungry for a tri-tip right now. John Zach from the BEASTwriter fan said, what's up, Beast? Why all the Zach Wilson at 2 hype after only one good year? Last year, he threw 11 picks and 9 interceptions. Well, I think you look at the critical factors, John. Thank you so much for your question. It comes down to the critical factors, what you see in his play. Again, for me, it is a small sample size to pull from. However, with that being said, you look at Zach Wilson, he can throw off platform, he can make all the reads. He definitely is very accurate going across his body. He makes some throws that just wow you. And we say that with every quarterback coming out of the draft. Oh man, he can make this throw. That not every quarterback can make that throw, but he does it with accuracy. That's the second part of the equation that you look forward to, because even if you put it on the receiver, like on the numbers, are you throwing to the receiver in stride? Are you throwing to the proper shoulder? These are things that you look for. And Zach Wilson's pro day, he did it. And in college, he did it. So when you put those two into account, and then you furthermore compound that by saying, piggybacking off quarterback Steve Young, who is arguably the greatest 49ers quarterback to ever play the game outside of Joe Montana, who says, you know what, who came from BYU, says, you know what, Zach Wilson is the best fit for Kyle Shanahan's offense. You know why? Because I played for his dad, Mike Shanahan, when we won the Super Bowl, and Zach Wilson is the best fit for me. If there's anyone that knows the quarterback position, it's definitely Steve Young, especially when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers West Coast offense and what Kyle Shanahan likes to do, because, again, his father, Mike Shanahan, Steve Young played for, where they won the Super Bowl back in 1994. Robert Watson says, what does the future tell us? What is the future? I don't know the future, man. I don't know the future. I wish I knew the answer to that, but hey, I'm sticking to my guns. I think it's Justin Fields at number 3 if Zach Wilson is off the board. Charles Jones from Facebook says, we need to pick Justin Fields. Big Dez from YouTube, the BEASTwriter family. How the heck is Kiper putting Fields at 9 with Jones at 3 to 9? It's crazy talk, man. Big Dez, I didn't take a look at Mel Kiper's mock draft yet. I'm going to do that shortly here after that. His mock draft. Actually, no, I can do that right now. Screw it. Let me just pull it up because I have ESPN Insider. And for those who don't have ESPN Insider, it's a paid subscription. But here in the BEASTwriter family, you're covered. I got you covered. So I'm just going to run down the list on what Mel Kiper's latest mock draft includes. Just let me go ahead and pull that up for you. There is a lot of stuff going on as it pulls up. But as it's pulling up, we'll go ahead and get to that. But yeah, I'm going to pull that up. Ted Cruz from Facebook says, we need to sign Frank Gore. It's his last season, so he could retire. Ted Cruz, thank you so much. Ultimately, regardless of where Frank Gore stays or plays, he's going to ultimately end up re-signing with the 49ers on a one-day contract to retire as a San Francisco 49er. Put it down. That's in a Sharpie. That's going to happen sooner or later. But thank you so much, Ted Cruz. And be sure to hop on youtube.com/BEASTwriter to be entered for a family BEASTwriter giveaways. It's good stuff we have going on here. All right. Let me just see if I can pull up the mock draft here as it pertains to Mel Kiper. I know people throw shade at Mel Kiper. Oh, here it is. Wow, it's a 2-round mock draft from Mel Kiper. That is interesting, guys. Very interesting. Let me just go ahead and pull this up. All right, at 1, he has Trevor Lawrence going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. At number 2, to the New York Jets, he has Zach Wilson. Number 3, he has Mack Jones. This is the analysis he put on Mack Jones, okay? This is today. He says, it's hard to ignore the Jones to San Francisco buzz within the league. You're not hearing it from me. You're not hearing it from this guy. I'm in the league. You're not hearing from me. Every sign 2 weeks out from the draft points to general manager John Lynch and coach Kyle Shanahan being infatuated with Jones. Okay, what else does he have to say about that? He furthermore says, is he the perfect fit for Shanahan's offense? Only time will tell. Who says that? Who says time will tell? Okay, Jones is my 4th ranked quarterback and is my number 12 ranked on my big board. And I'm not sure I see a superstar when I watch him on tape. He's solid and extremely accurate, but not spectacular. Lynch and Shanahan are obviously taking the long view here, and this decision is going to be discussed and debated for years. Wow. So Mel Kiper is basically throwing some shade saying, you know what? He's number 12 on my big board. Why are the San Francisco 49ers taking him for their offense? When what I just point out, again, this is the first time I'm reading this mock draft, and what I just say in the beginning intro of this mock draft analysis, and as it pertains to why Justin Fields and Trey Lance are being in discussion and why Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are attending their pro days. Well, they want to see how they run the West Coast offense off those naked bootlegs and play action pass. That's what it comes down to it. You're going to see a lot of these guys throwing on the run, not so much as a pure pocket passer. This pro day that you're going to see tomorrow, I believe, right? Ohio State's pro day tomorrow, I believe. You're going to see a lot of stuff happening, a lot of action, play action pass. You're going to see these quarterbacks throwing on the move to see how accurate they are. So again, don't be surprised at these stop and goes. You're not going to see a lot of stop and goes, curl or hitch routes. You're going to see a lot of these corner post routes on the run, throwing off platform, throwing under duress. You might have a defensive line rushing the quarterback, and how does he throw? How does he what's his velocity like? What's his release looks like when he releases that football? Is he throwing in stride to the receiver, going across the grain off play action pass? These are some things that you really want to look for. And again, you're not going to see any of this pure pocket passer BS at these pro days. It's all going to be horizontal. And I talked about this with Mike Schumann. Mike Schumann knows, obviously, he played for Bill Walsh. Played with Joe Montana. He knows his stuff. He said the same exact thing. He's like, Ryan, you're right. The West Coast offense, the way it's geared up to run is you want to stretch the defense horizontally, not so much vertically. All right. So food for thought there. That's all I got to say about that. All right. What do we got here? Ted Cruz says, oh, yeah, we need to sign for Jarrett Wiggins says, can you see, from the BEASTwriter family, can you see a non-mobile quarterback getting the 3rd pick? Mobility seems to be the most effective in the NFL. Yes, for which I believe this is a huge smokescreen. It's a huge smokescreen. Now watch me be wrong. Beast, you said it was going to be Justin Fields or Zach Wilson, and you were wrong. Okay, I was wrong one time. I will put my odds right on it. And I'll be like, you know what? I was wrong. I said Justin Fields. I said that Zach Wilson was going to be the pick, if not Justin Fields. But you hit it on the nail. Very good analysis, Jarrett. The quarterback position is a pass-happy league. And in the pass-happy league, you can get away with having a dual-threat quarterback nowadays because quarterbacks are now protected more than others. Mike Schumann, again, talked about this on my last live stream. If you haven't watched that last live stream, go ahead and tie that one into this one. Again, I like connecting the dots on earlier podcasts and how it ties into this one. Look, let me tell you something about mobile quarterbacks. They are very well protected. And if you don't have a mobile quarterback in today's NFL, you're doing yourself a disservice. Why would you go after a pure pocket passer who's a one-trick pony like a Mack Jones when you can get a dual-threat quarterback like a Justin Fields or a Trey Lance, who has a higher ceiling than any quarterback coming out of this draft class? Let's not talk about Zach Wilson. Let's say he's off the board. Okay, cool story. Who would you rather have? Honestly, if I'm going to give up that much draft capital, I'm going to swing for the fences. And I would say that guy would be Justin Fields. But heck, okay, Trey Lance. He has the most potential of anyone in this quarterback draft class. Why not take a flyer on Trey Lance? Because ultimately, I tell you what, I said it on 2 live streams back to back to back that Trey Lance would arguably be, well, people have Mack Jones tied to the New England Patriots. After doing some research and talking to some within the NFL, I believe that guy's going to be Trey Lance. Trey Lance to the New England Patriots. Don't be surprised if that happens. Don't be surprised if Trey Lance, and that's why I currently have him mocked to Trey Lance to the New England Patriots. Now, he's not going to last till 15, obviously, but the Patriots will have to trade up to get him. But ultimately, I see Trey Lance possibly going to the New England Patriots. All right. Ahmedi, you surf says, who do you think the 49ers will take? I said Justin Fields, my man. Again, you're on Twitter right now, but just hop on youtube.com/BEASTwriter, open up a new web browser, subscribe to your boy, and you will hear everything I had to say about that. And again, if you want to tune in to the BEASTwriter family and do a live call-in show, this is a live call-in show. All you have to do is call in right here. We're going to shoot in CJ Ruthless Sports, my man, hopping on the show. Let me just get him up here for a second.
What's up, bro?
What's up, bro? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me or no?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. How you doing, man?
Yeah, doing well. I just checked out the pro days. They are trying to get that offense that naked bootleg with those 2 quarterbacks. So my guess is as good as you. Maybe it is Justin Fields. We'll see.
I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be Justin Fields or Trey Lance. Ultimately, if Zach Wilson's off the board, they're gonna get one of those 3 quarterbacks. They're not gonna go after Mack Jones. That's just a huge smokescreen. They're not gonna do that. That's just fool's gold.
Yeah, it must be a good smokescreen to say Mack Jones is the pick.
I mean, why would you do that? That's just like, anybody who actually, like I said, heads will roll if Mack Jones is the pick, including mine. Kyle Shanahan does not get a pass saying he knows his quarterbacks because CJ Beathard was his quarterback. Go back and look at the draft transcript. He loved CJ Beathard and he touted him like he was the best thing since sliced bread. So, yeah, where's CJ Beathard? He's off to Jacksonville Jaguars now. I just don't see it. Now, obviously, you're on 2 different levels here. You have a 3rd-round quarterback compared to a first top 5 pick. I get it. But, hey, no one would have thought that CJ Beathard would be out after his rookie deal.
Well, he just didn't seem to excel. Like he was more like the guy who came off the bench. Like when he came off the bench, he was looking good. But when he gets to start, he doesn't look too good. Nick Mullins was a developmental project for Shanahan. He did good his first year when he first started it, but then when it came down to it, he just got worse. So Shanahan needs to think outside the box. Some people keep thinking, oh, why not the RG3? Well, that was technically Dan Snyder's pick. So maybe this is what Shanahan's thinking now. He's thinking more different now. Maybe he is going to get a mobile quarterback.
Right. We have Keith Murphy coming up right after CJ Ruthless Sports. So Keith Murphy, stay on, my man. I see you. We'll have you on in a little bit. So what's on your mind, CJ Ruthless Sports?
What's on my mind is who we're gonna get. Who's the quarterback? Because it keeps going. It keeps like the next day it could be Mack Jones. The following day, Justin Fields, Trey Lance. Like which one?
Yeah,
I don't know which one it is, man.
This is how I see it playing out. Trevor Lawrence going number 1 as it stands today. Obviously, things can change tomorrow. Draft position plays a role, but anyways, Trevor Lawrence number 1. Okay, number 2, I have the New York Jets taking Zach Wilson. All right, number 3, I have them taking Justin Fields. If they go 1, 2, 3, that's how it's going to go. And let me tell you, you don't go Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mack Jones. You're skipping. It's like skipping grades. Like you can't skip a grade if you can't pass 2nd and 3rd. Like why would you go all? You know what I mean? You can't. It's common sense. This is all a huge smokescreen. And look, maybe they're doing it just to throw off the New England Patriots who want Mack Jones at 15.
Maybe that is a little game. Maybe the Patriots are thinking desperately.
It could be a little bit of arrogance here, being that Kyle Shanahan's like, you know what? Like I said, we have Jimmy Garoppolo. We know you like Jimmy Garoppolo. We also could draft Mack Jones, and we all know you're buddies with Nick Saban and how Nick Saban is high on Mack Jones. We're going to get him at 3. How do you like that, New England? So you guys are going to have to make a move. You want Jimmy Garoppolo? Give us a 1st-round pick. Oh, we don't want a 1st-round pick. Okay, well, what about a 2nd-round pick? You see what I'm saying? This is all just a huge smokescreen to drive up the interest for Mack Jones. Because look, You don't hear the Jets or Jaguars talking about Mac Jones.
Nope.
See? You see where this is going? If the Jets or the Jaguars are not talking about Mac Jones, what makes you think one pick later that the 49ers are going to talk about Mac Jones? When actuality, the Falcons, would they even take Mac Jones at 4? No. Okay, so read between the lines and know what it is. Mac Jones is not going to number 3. And I said it since day one.
I don't think he is.
Everyone's saying Mac Jones. Go look on everything. It never came from the BEASTwriter family. Never came here. Never came from my mouth. I always said, once they said Mac Jones, I said that's a huge smokescreen. And again, I've been covering the draft, for what, since 1998. All right. So how many years that is? Over 20 years. This time of year is where you see smoke screens all the time. And as it gets closer to the draft, the smoke becomes fire.
Yeah. Like the smoke screens when we wanted to get Arden Key, that was just a little smoke screen right there. We didn't have no interest of him or Justin Fields. I mean, not Justin Fields. I mean, Deshaun Watson at one time.
Right. But yeah, thank you so much for chiming in. Do you have any thoughts that you want to say? Again, if you're not following my man CJ Ruthless Sports, go ahead and do that. He's also on YouTube, has a great channel going for you. That's what I see that going, man. And again, you know what's funny? When Julian Edelman was released, I was like, oh, I wonder if he's going to the 49ers. Like, wouldn't they retires? I was like, oh,
it would be nice. He would be a nice slot receiver.
And he's going back home, right? He's from the Bay Area.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn.
He retired maybe because of that ACL.
Damn.
Because of that ACL injury. It's hard to overcome it.
Yeah, I know. He couldn't recover from it, but damn. That would have been sweet. All right.
I was hoping that way too. I was gonna write an article about that part.
See?
Would it be a great idea to get him? But nope, too late.
Too late, man. But all right, thank you so much for hopping on the show, man. Appreciate you.
All right, bro. Have a good one.
Take it easy. Mahalo, my man. All right, we're gonna have Keith Murray into the live stream. Keith Murray, how are you doing?
What's up, man? How you?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
I can't complain at all.
If you guys don't know Keith Murray, this is my Adam Schefter. He knows his stuff. Adam Schefter / Bill Walsh /
I wish.
You're all in one, bro. What's going on? What's on your mind, my man?
I'm agreeing with most you're saying about I don't know if it's a smokescreen as much as I really don't think anybody knows. And then people are listening to Schefter or whoever's on TV, and then they're just trying to be right. And I feel like at the end they're all going to be wrong. Because you don't pick Mac Jones at 3 if you have the number 3 pick, let alone if you traded 2 ones to get him. So it would be, what is it they say? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, right?
Ooh, so I like that. I never heard that.
Do you trade 2 first-round picks for Matt Ryan and Kirk Cousins because you liked him? You pick Kirk Cousins in the 4th round. So there's no way. I'm not going to say no way because anything can happen. I'll be shocked if they draft Mac Jones.
Here's some food for thought that no one's talking about. If you're Kyle Shanahan and you know this is a move that you have to absolutely hit on, does he leverage this bet and draft a quarterback? I know this sounds crazy, but takes the shotgun approach and drafts another quarterback on day 2 in case that quarterback doesn't pan out? Because now you're looking at it like, look, we have a project and then we have a project.
That's right.
And he did it. Next year. So now it's a camp competition between the 2021 draft class of quarterbacks. And if iron sharpens iron, don't be shocked because they have nobody behind Jimmy Garoppolo right now. Right. Absolutely no one. Well, Josh Rosen is not the answer.
Well, they just signed another kid from Philly that was bad. What's the guy's name from Philly they just signed? Man.
Nate Sudfeld.
Sudfeld, yes. So
what a name.
They won't be on the roster, not both of them. I don't think he's going to take another quarterback this year. I really, in my heart of hearts, believe he traded up with, to your point, Fields or Wilson in mind when he knew that. And I actually am starting to think that Fields could go too. I'm not saying that will happen, but I'm thinking.
No, it could. It could.
The closer they get to draft day, I think he's going to go higher than what they're trying to shoot him down as. And the people come up with the Shanahan type of quarterback, and I'm telling people, the quarterbacks they won Super Bowl with was Steve Young and John Elway, quarterbacks that could move. So I would consider that more their type of quarterback than a Kirk Cousins or Matt Ryan or Matt Schaub, any of those guys. Right. Those are the guys he had to coach, not that he chose to coach.
Correct. And again, you have to change with the time, right? So if you're not changing with the times, which means that more times than not, there's an echo. I think there's an echo on your side. Is there an echo on your side or no?
I can't hear echo, but you might
Okay.
be hearing one from me.
Okay. But getting back to it, the way I see it is, if you draft a non-mobile quarterback, you're basically doing yourself a disservice, because the way the game is played today, you need a dual threat quarterback.
Right. That's the donation I sent you when I asked you that question. Who is the?
Oh, you asked me a question. Oh,
yeah.
right. Oh, I got it right here. Sorry. Here it is.
Right, man.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Where is it? It's up here, right here. Keith Murray, right here. Who is the last non? Okay, there you go. Boom. Sorry. You're right. Who is?
I'd have to probably go back to Stafford, maybe Matt Ryan. Do you consider Derek Carr a hit?
No.
No.
Do you?
No, he's a good, solid quarterback.
Yeah.
Not hit to me is like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes.
Right.
Those are hits.
Right.
Deshaun Watson. I mean, so why in the world would we even be looking at Mack Jones?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Bro, and that's the thing. It's a huge smoke screen. I should call in the live chat right now, get my chalk like when I do my benching or my workouts, and just throw smoke like to LeBron James and be like,
it just wouldn't make any sense. I do think there is something to that QB collective stuff too. If they think Fields is good enough, it doesn't do anything to help their business on that end as well.
Right.
As far as they camp. So I just don't see, everybody's mocking Mack Jones. Everybody. And I'm just
not me, not you.
Not me. Definitely.
Not us. Not here in the BEASTwriter family. We ain't doing it.
We are not.
No. We're here. We keep it 100. I'm telling you right now. I was talking to right before I went on this live stream. I was talking to a former 49er player.
Right.
Okay. Very well connected. So I asked him about this. He says, "Bro, you're on point." He's like, "They're not gonna take Mack Jones," and he knows his stuff. Trust me. This guy, you guys, I'm not gonna name drop who this guy is. You guys will go, "Oh my gosh, get him on the show." But he tells me stuff behind closed doors. Look, if there's anyone that knows it's this wide receiver, it's not Mack Jones.
Right.
It's not Mack Jones.
Well, I also think you would turn off the locker room, right? Like, why pick Jimmy G 2.0?
Wow. Yes. No, you're right though. You're right.
And it means something to them. I don't want to make it like a race thing, but the NFL is 70% African American, right?
Right.
So it does mean something if they think they see a quarterback like Fields or Lance who's very talented. Then you take somebody that's less talented. I think that would be like, okay, are we sure we know what this guy is doing? Because even though last time I was on your show, I said Kyle and John haven't been successful.
Right.
I will say they did overachieve last year with all those injuries to still win 6 games. That was still a very good job by Kyle Shanahan.
We have a question from Jan Paul, my man JP, Arizona Cardinals fan. Justin Fields' passing accuracy, can that be coached up? I feel like it's either you have the touch or not. Hopefully I'm wrong.
Well, look at Josh Allen. 3 years ago, they didn't say he could pass or had touch. I mean, if your quarterback, isn't it your job to work on your craft?
Yep.
And to get better. If you go watch San Diego, Drew Brees looks totally different than New Orleans Drew Brees.
That's true.
Now, I don't think Fields can get to Drew Brees' accuracy, but I don't think he has to be a very effective passer. He's a very effective passer for a 22-year-old to me.
All right. Brian King from the BEASTwriter fan says, do you think 49ers will try and pursue Aaron Rodgers? I would say no. Would you say that's a no?
Do I think the 49ers should pursue Aaron? I mean, I don't think it's something. I'm the type of person, I told you I keep it 100, right? I don't think about things I don't think are possible.
Yeah.
I don't think we can get Aaron Rodgers right now.
Dude, we have like so many people in this live chat. It is growing crazy. Were you guys all waiting for me to come on this live stream? Oh, you're like, what's my next BEASTwriter live stream? It's been 3 days. There's construction going on in the house, bro, so I haven't been able to do it. We actually have new people. Waruna Pereira, we're going to have you on. John Jay, we're going to have you on. Stay tuned for this. We have good things coming on. Okay, Bunk, my man Bunk from the BEASTwriter family. With how Kyle coached up Jimmy G late in 2017, do you see the rookie, which I imagine is Fields, becoming the starter at any time next season?
You want that one?
Do you see rookie, which I imagine is Fields? No, I don't. Well, yes, probably midway through the season. Once they go 3-7, he'll be the starter.
Oh, I hope we don't go 3-7. I think if it's Fields, like when you go buy a car, do you want to drive your old car around still? You want to drive your new car, right?
Yeah.
I don't see Kyle sitting Fields that long, especially depending on how he's grasping a playbook or doing whatever he needs to do in practice, and the sheer difference in athlete that they are between Jimmy and Fields. I don't see it going past maybe, I'm gonna say 5 or 6 games at the most.
Right.
To me.
I agree with you 110%. Fernando Perez says, if it's Fields, I would assume Jimmy G is getting traded. Which team do you see him trading? Which do you see trading for Jimmy, and what do you think they give up for him? I actually answered this in earlier live streams. I haven't gone back to the New England Patriots. And for a day 2 pick. All right. What else is on your mind before I hit you out of the stream? Is there anything else that you want to say that's on your mind, my man? Say it, bro. You have good information, bro. So.
Like and subscribe my new channel, Keith Murphy, on YouTube.
There you go. You did it. Good job.
I give random thoughts, man. So, no, I appreciate it. I had fun on here last time, and I love being a part of the BEASTwriter family, man.
Hey, man, we're going to have cool stuff. We're going to have T-shirts coming out, man. So stay tuned for that. Okay. I literally, I'm always grinding, even if I'm not doing a live stream. We have a few former 49ers players coming on the stream soon. So stay tuned for this. It's going to be good stuff, yeah. But thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. And
thank you.
Keith Murray, everyone. Follow Keith, my man, Keith Murray, part of the BEASTwriter family on his live stream.
Keith Murphy, M-U-R-P-H-Y.
Okay, there you go. What is it? Say it again.
Keith Murphy, M-U-R-P-H-Y.
Keith Murphy. Yeah, go follow him on YouTube. Again, thanks so much, Keith. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, take it easy.
All right, we're going to have Waruna Pereira hop on the show. Waruna, how are you doing today, my man?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good. Where are you calling from?
Sacramento.
Oh, you're from Sac. Okay. What part? Elk Grove area?
Elk Grove. Yes.
You are from Elk Grove. I can tell from here. I'm joking. That'd be really crazy and creepy if I said, you know what? Based on the angle of your house, I hit it on the nail. It is Elk Grove.
Yes.
Okay. Long story short, I have family in Elk Grove, and legit, when I first saw it and you said, I was like, that looks like my cousin's room. So I guess all the houses are built similar, which they are, right, in Elk Grove.
Yes.
What's on your mind, my man?
Actually, I would like to thank you first because I shared the story that you told about Jim Harbaugh and Jed York's relationship, how it was. I shared it on Grant's corn phone last time, and I think people liked it, and it was something people did not know. Yeah, how that the player and Jim Harbaugh thing went up. So it was really nice. Thank you for that information.
Oh, no, thank you. Mahalo for you for joining the BEASTwriter family. I'm glad you find the BEASTwriter family of value, man. We're honored to have you in our family. Like, that's what I say, when I say subscribe to my channel, it's not like my channel, it's subscribe to the BEASTwriter family. And that's why here, again, we have all 32 different fan bases. It's not just all Niner fans. It's not just all Panthers fans, Steelers fans, Browns. I mean, there's fans from all 32 fan bases. And that's what's really cool about the BEASTwriter family, because it's all about good vibes only. And everyone has input, right? No matter who has the platform, we all have input. So that's why I think it's very important to, with all the hate that's going on in society today, we got to put that aside. I mean, here in the BEASTwriter family, I mean, shoot, I may have a target on my back for saying this, but, for me, if I don't stand up for what I believe in, which is spreading love, then what's the point of living? You know what I mean? And that's what I try to bring to the BEASTwriter family, is where it's all good vibes only. Everyone can have an opinion. No one has to say, oh, you're stupid, you're dumb, this or that. It's all good stuff. So thank you so much, and mahalo. So it got good feedback then, huh?
Yeah, it got good feedback. People liked it. So actually, I want to say something about what you started. Basically, now in this draft, that everyone has one of their favorite players, their quarterback, that they won Niners 2 drafts. That's fine. But the problem that I see, is that we always have to remember these are like 20-year-old, 22-year-old kids. I mean, when we were at that age, if we got that much of media hype, attention, and people were criticizing us, I mean, imagine how difficult, how the pressure situation that you would be in if that
Right.
happened to you.
Right.
But I mean, now the one thing I saw is like people are criticizing Mac Jones. Fine, criticize him. It's okay, but have a limit. I mean, know the limit when you do that, because criticize him for his playing ability, his skill set, not go to a personal level that you are going to screw his life, because that's what I'm seeing. I mean, you talked about this thing, Solomon Thomas. I mean, it's not his fault that he
Right.
got drafted number 3. It's not Jimmy's fault that he got $27 million contract.
Right.
It's, I mean, it's business. And one more thing that you have to remember is when it comes to football, every time you go into the field, every second you are putting your life in risk. I haven't
Correct.
seen any
Correct.
team sport, because I have followed many sports: cricket, rugby, field hockey, soccer. So I haven't seen any sports, even rugby, coming closer to the danger level of football. It's a pretty dangerous sport. So
Right. It is.
please,
It is. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Um, I would say this. I would say because the NFL, it's unfair to play in the NFL. You're put in a compromised position the moment you get drafted because the spotlight. Look, you get the spotlight, you get the ladies, you get the money, you get the cars. Everything's there for you, okay, at your disposal. As unfair as it is, that comes with the territory of being a professional player. With that comes constructive criticism, and with that comes unfair criticism.
yes,
Whether or not people get mad at Mac Jones for the body he has, maybe he doesn't have the body of, like, let's say me, like, or whoever, right? They're not,
yes,
he doesn't look like a quarterback. But the same was said of Tom Brady. Does that make him any less of a quarterback? No. But could he have used maybe some of that inside the workroom? Yes, absolutely. He could have put on some more muscle mass. But with that being said, the whole DUIs that he had and all this other stuff, that does play a role. It is unfair to a player who, I think you're looking at it from a humanistic approach, saying if there's a kid that's drafted and he's 20,
yes,
21, 22
yes,
years old, he's still a puppy. He's still a kid.
yes,
You know, you look at him as he's always going to be your son, but at the end of the day, it's like he's really young. Like,
yes.
he's going up against grown-ups who've been doing it in the field of whatever respective industry they've been in for the last 15, 20 years. So you're tapping a demographic where you really don't know what's going on. And then on top of that, you get so much money thrown on top of that. There's a lot of pressure. But the good ones always come out on top. And that comes down to fate. It comes down to fate because you either have it or you don't. And a lot of the stuff can be learned. But as you learn, the NFL stands for not for long, which means the NFL lifespan is only 2 to 3 years. I just got off the phone literally 3 hours ago talking to another former 49ers player, and we talked about life after football, and he said, looking back, dude, that was like a blink of an eye. I was in, and then I was gone. So with that, it's unfair. You're right. It's totally unfair. I'm not disagreeing with you. You're 110% right. I agree with you. What I will say, though, is as unfair as it is, that's the nature of the business, because Jimmy Garoppolo made out with a lot of money.
Yes, true.
And didn't play a lot. So where can you get paid millions of dollars, get injured, and still make money while riding the pine, not doing anything? That's like you going to work and not working and still getting paid. How cool of a job is that?
But if Jimmy is the only player on that team that's getting paid by not playing, there are other players. What about D Ford?
Oh, well, what about D Ford? Same thing.
Right?
How cool is that? He's getting paid for he's injured. And again, this is not their fault that they're injured. I mean, they do it on purpose. I'm not saying it's their fault they got injured. But at the end of the day, from a fan's perspective now, you're getting paid millions of dollars to be on the field. And again, if you're not doing it on the field, you're definitely not doing it off the field. We don't care what you do off the field because it's all about the W.
Yes.
The NFL is all about getting the win, bringing back home the Lombardi Trophy, because the NFL standard here in San Francisco Bay Area is Super Bowl or bust every single year. And as unfair as it is, if you go to a team like the Tennessee Titans, to the Cleveland Browns, who has no rich tradition of winning history or a winning culture, to them, it's just another season. To the San Francisco 49ers and the fan base here in San Francisco, it's do or die, live or die.
Yeah, that I agree.
And it's unfair, but that's just the way it is here in the Bay Area, man. That's just the way our mindsets are wired. We've been lucky. We've been spoiled to have Joe Montana, Dwight Clark, Steve Young, you know, the greats. Jerry Rice, John Taylor,
Craig.
Mack Jones, there you go, Roger Craig, Ronnie Lott. I mean, you're talking about the best players at their position to ever play the NFL game. And that's just what us as fans, me included, being a fan at one time too, we're all looking at the gold standard. And the gold standard is the San Francisco 49ers, especially the quarterback position, better get it done because Joe Montana did it. Steve Young did it. Jeff Garcia even did it to a certain extent. Why can't Jimmy Garoppolo do it?
Yeah, that's true. But the only concern that I have is with regards to this Mack Jones situation, people are name calling. People are making fun of his name. That I don't agree with.
Well, that shouldn't happen. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Like,
yes, that's the thing. I mean, I get the thing with Jimmy, but let me tell you one thing. With regards to Jimmy, the problem is he is not that athletically gifted player as any other like Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, or any other players. So he to perform as the level like let's say Jimmy is probably within 15 to 20th in terms of the quarterbacks in NFL, starting quarterback. Even to perform at that level, he needs to be 100% physically fit.
Right.
If you remember the Miami Dolphins game, he threw 2 interceptions because he was throwing very awkwardly. He didn't have his motion. So he was struggling. So that's the problem. I mean, I think if we pressured him, maybe he would have come on and play, but he would have made it worse because Jimmy is that type of a player.
Right.
And I mean, there is one other thing. I think you know this better than me. Some that mental part, some players has it, some players doesn't. Brett Favre played through injuries, bleeding.
Correct.
That's his gutsy. I mean, he's a gutsy player. He can do anything. But some players don't have it. I mean, it's eventually the error of judgment made by people who traded for him, acquired him, and thought that he can be the next Tom Brady. So that's why, I mean, I'm not a Jimmy fan, but I feel what he is going through.
Because you know what? You have a heart. I'm not saying no. You have a good heart. And me, I feel for Jimmy too. I mean, I know him personally. I was the one that asked him the Tom Brady question right when he arrived, stepped foot in San Francisco. So me and Jimmy's relationship's been very well documented. But again, I'm not so sure. And I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. I'm not so sure that all the 49ers players are on board with Jimmy Garoppolo in terms of leading them to the Super Bowl or helping them get to the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's actually, I know there's some players who are pretty who wouldn't be, what's the word I'm looking for? They would be okay with a new quarterback behind center. Because they know what they're getting. They know what their ceiling is with Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo can lead you to the Super Bowl. He can get you there, I should say. He can get you to the Super Bowl. He's proven he's done it.
Yes.
And he win you a Super Bowl. I'm not so sure because, again, football's in the game of inches. And in the Super Bowl, every down counts. Every yard counts. So every mistake, every progression counts. So if you're not a mobile quarterback and you can't run a naked bootleg because you know everybody's going off on the other side of the field, and they're leaving, the deep pass wide open, stacking the box up front.
Yeah, that's
And then
true.
all of a sudden it's crunch time in the fourth quarter and you try to throw a deep pass to Emmanuel Sanders and you miss him by, 2 or 3 strides. Well, that's the difference between victory and defeat. If he makes that catch, if he makes that throw, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And that's
Yes.
unfair. And that's where it comes back to being unfair to Jimmy Garoppolo. How one throw can ultimately run Jimmy Garoppolo out of San Francisco. But that's the standard here in San Francisco. It's unfair. It's mind-boggling. It is. I am 100% with you. I think it's total BS. But then again, it's not BS because that's the standard. And we've been so accustomed to seeing Steve Young make it like he did in the NFC. Was it the NFC wild card game or against the Green Bay, the divisional game against the Green Bay Packers with the catch with Terrell Owens? You saw obviously Joe Montana and Dwight Clark make it with a catch. You saw Alex Smith do it with Vernon Davis on the catch 3.
Yes, I have seen that too.
What is Jimmy Garoppolo's trademark throw? Not saying he has to have one, but all the great quarterbacks, aside from Alex Smith, he wasn't a great quarterback, but we still drafted number 1.
Yes.
A lot of them have stamped their history.
Yeah, the one I remember from Jimmy is that actually it was not Jimmy's talent. Basically, in the Saints game 2019, he made that throw to Kittle, and Kittle basically after the catch, he went through and made that play. Actually, it's not Jimmy, basically.
Yes.
I agree with what you are saying. But in Super Bowl, we never criticize Kyle Shanahan for his play calling. I mean, fourth quarter, you are up 10 points. Why would you hand over the ball to Jimmy?
Yeah.
Play your run game. Because NFC Championship game, you just hand over the ball 8 times to Jimmy in the biggest game of the year.
That's true. So, very true. Very true. Kyle Shanahan's play calling in the Super Bowl hasn't been on point. You're absolutely right with that. I would say this. I would say at the end of the day, you have to make, if you're going to be a quarterback, you have to make the proper reads and go through your progressions. Ultimately, I have my own grading system. I don't rely on PFF. What I see from Jimmy Garoppolo is a one-read quarterback. If he doesn't hit that one read, whether it's George Kittle down the seams or that second read, whether that is a quick slant or an out route, he's just going to check it down to the flats. When you do that, you're putting your offense at a disadvantage because now the linebackers know where you're going with the football without even knowing where the football is going. Doesn't matter which side because you can kind of leverage your splits how you see fit based on being a game film junkie, pre-snap recognition, keys, and so forth. That's where Kyle Shanahan gets frustrated because you can watch before the play develops, before the ball is snapped. Damn, that linebacker should not be lined up in that split. He must know something, and he knows that Jimmy Garoppolo can't make this throw going against the grain on the other side of the formation. That's why he's playing his splits further this way, and it puts our offense at a disadvantage. That's why you have these zone blocking schemes where it's all tailored toward this way, and that's why Kyle Shanahan has to run sometimes a counter because he has to keep the defenses honest. Unfortunately, Jimmy Garoppolo does more worse than good in opening up Shanahan, open up that playbook. But thank you so much, Waruna Pereira. I appreciate the love. Mahalo, mahalo.
Okay, thanks a lot. See you again.
Well, I look forward to having you on more often. Come in every time.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
All right. Cheers, my man. All right. We have John Jay from Fortnite's Ultimate Report. How you doing today, John Jay?
What's up, man? How you doing?
You good, man? How you been?
The same as always, working.
What is on your mind?
So I wanted to come on in because I wanted to tell you that I'm obsessed with quarterbacks, and every draft since I can remember, I don't know which was my first draft, but the one I can remember from the top of my head that I really watched was 2005 when the 49ers had the number 1 pick and Alex Smith. And since then, I've been obsessed with the quarterback position. And I remember, Matt Leinart, the hype, Vince Young, the hype. And then, of course, Joe Flacco and Matt Ryan in the same draft class, both had lengthy careers. Matt Ryan is still going with his, same team. He went to a Super Bowl, didn't win one. Joe Flacco had really good players around him, and he had a good career, and then he dropped off. So, I've been always obsessed with the quarterbacks.
Right.
And one thing about Mack Jones that I've been watching him is that it really frustrates me when people say, oh, he's Tom Brady because he ran slow on his 40 time. Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th round. Name a 6th round quarterback that's going to have Tom Brady's career. No, that's never going to happen ever again. I could be wrong, but Mac Jones has been pushed up the draft board for one reason, and that's the reason is that the NFL, they're trying their best. I think it's the NFL. I don't think it's Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers are trying to say, oh, yeah, Mac Jones. But Mac Jones, the best way to describe him, and not being very polite, it's Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers had the weirdest throwing arm. Mm-hmm. He was never mobile, and he would always drop back in the shotgun and throw the ball. And he had, Antonio Gates, and he had good receivers. Mm-hmm. And, that's one of the things why he was really successful. But right. I can't compare like a low ceiling for Mac Jones. And the only person, and I really looked deep, was Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is the lowest ceiling he can get because it's almost similar. If, for example, a hypothetical, he goes to San Francisco, which I hope that does not happen. Kyle Shanahan is going to do the same thing that he does with Jimmy Garoppolo. Short passes, those weird, like where they hike the ball, he tosses the ball, and the running back or the wide receiver gets it, and then they run like a weird pass handoff. That's all that he's going to do if he's going to do that because, our division has Aaron Donald, J.J. Watt, and that's just in our division. Those guys are proven elite, guys that can go after the quarterback. So that's the reason why they need to stay away from Mac Jones. Justin Fields, I was looking at a lot of tape of him, a lot of highlights, and I do agree when he had his pro day, I could be wrong, that they said Dak Prescott is the ceiling that Justin Fields can get. They said ceiling. They're saying that he's not going to be Dak Prescott. So I looked at Dak Prescott, and they play similar styles. I'm not saying that, Justin Fields is going to be Dak Prescott, but you look at how quarterbacks play, and you want to compare them because all these quarterback comps. That's the reason why I like Justin Fields, even though I'm a Trey Lance guy. That's the best way to look at the Mac Jones situation because I don't see any quarterback because even Joe Flacco can move. Even Matt Ryan can move. Right. I've seen him run, but I've never seen Mac Jones ever like being chased and running. I've never seen him. So that's one thing that's scary. But a lot of people say, oh, he's Tom Brady.
I don't see that. I hate that comparison. I mean, there's never going to be another Tom Brady. Plain and simple. Secondly, Mac Jones is not the pick. I can't echo that. I mean, that's just, we're talking about something that's not going to happen. Like, legit, here we are on April 13th. Justin Fields has his pro day, tomorrow? Right?
Yeah.
All right, so he has his pro day tomorrow. Why are they going to see Justin Fields if Mac Jones is the pick? Don't tell me it's to do your due diligence because you've been hyping up Mac Jones this whole time because it was a huge smokescreen. Again, I'm telling you, it's a smokescreen. And why are they driving up the smoke? Again, it's to put pressure on the teams ahead and the teams behind to say, if they're not hiding interest in Zach Wilson, we're typing up Mac Jones. Oh, maybe should we take a better look at Mac Jones? Maybe the Jets have to take a look at Mac Jones because obviously they run the same exact offense, right? So that's why I think it's a huge smokescreen. I think this whole Mac Jones thing is total BS, and I'm gonna stick to it. Now, if Mac Jones ultimately is the pick and I'm wrong, so what? Okay, so I get one wrong. Big deal. I'll live with that. But at the end of the day, I don't think that pick's going to be Mac Jones. You don't trade up number 3 to get Mac Jones, and essentially the Falcons at 4 will not take Mac Jones if he's available. They're going to go with Trey Lance. Ultimately, I already did a podcast on that. I don't even think they're going to be drafting at 4. I think they're going to be shooting backwards because, again, their motive under Mickey Loomis is tree coming from the New Orleans Saints and Terry Fontenot is always to get the best player available. And I think he could trade back and still get that player that he would otherwise get at 4 because, again, these quarterbacks, like you said, are getting pushed up the board. Mac Jones ultimately is going to go somewhere. I think Trey Lance ultimately ends up in with the New England Patriots if they don't trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. So keep an eye out for that. I just see there's a lot of moving parts here. And listen, what if Zach Wilson goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars at number 1? That's going to throw a huge wrench in this whole thing because everyone has Trevor Lawrence with a Sharpie to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, as you know, the NFL draft, anything can happen. Anything can happen. And I know Todd McShay's like, oh, well, I haven't graded a quarterback this high since Andrew Luck. I read that last night, and I'm like, wow. So for me, Andrew Luck was a generational talent. Trevor Lawrence, to a lot of people, is a generational talent. However, if you were to ask me who would be the NFL pro-ready quarterback today and who I'd put my money on having the longer career, or better career, I would put that money on Zach Wilson before Trevor Lawrence. I know that sounds crazy to some, but hey, this is why I'm not afraid to put it out there. Zach Wilson is just a different kind of guy. And he's just different. He's just wired different. He's built different. Trevor Lawrence has better intangibles, better critical factors. 6'6". You talk about his height. Oh, he sees over the line. He's so tall. Cool. You can't coach height. I get it. I'm short. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, what else can you do well? If you were to tell me who would be ready today and maybe 2 to 3 years from now, I'm going to put my money on Zach Wilson, even with no offensive line in front of him with the New York Jets, because he doesn't have an offensive line worth crap. He's going to be like what David Carr was with the Houston Texans when he didn't have an offensive line and he was just running for his life week in and week out. Poor guy, but it is what it is. What else is on your mind? Here we go. Bill says, but guys, how does a smokescreen for Jones help the Niners? Well, it helps them in a lot of different ways. One, if you look at it, and if you're Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, maybe because I think like them, because I worked with them, but this is how their thinking is, or how I like to think their thinking is. They're going to put pressure on the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New York Jets, because it's not set in stone that they're going to take the Jets at 2 or going to take Zach Wilson. Maybe they will look at this and be like, wow, they're taking Mack Jones at 3. They're not even talking about Zach Wilson. Not because he's not off the board, but because he's not even discussing, because they're talking about Justin Fields. If the case was the reverse, then they would obviously be talking about Justin Fields at number 2 and then Zach Wilson at number 3 to the Niners. Why that's not taking place, it's a smokescreen. Okay, so you're putting pressure on GM Joe Douglas to say, hey, look, we're looking at Mack Jones. Haha, we're right behind you, and you can take Zach Wilson because we're not even looking at him. Then you double down on that on the teams behind. The teams picking at 4, like the Atlanta Falcons. The teams picking at number 9, like the Denver Broncos, right? If you want a guy like Trey Lance, okay, they're rumored to also be going to Trey Lance's pro day, right? And working that pro day. So you could be like, oh, you know what? All right, we're also like Trey Lance. So, if you guys have Trey Lance rated higher on your board than Justin Fields, would you want to swing a trade with us? Because we might take Trey Lance at 3. And if you think that, we're taking Justin Fields, you're oddly mistaken, because we really like Mack Jones. But, oh, dude, we also like Trey Lance. So we don't know yet. We're still on the fence. You see where this is going? Again, it's a huge chess game because you're throwing huge smoke screens to put pressure on the teams in front and the teams behind on what your actual target is at that point. Why would you, if it was me, I would be doing the same exact, you know what I would do? I would go to all the NFL media outlets. I would go to Adam Schefter. I would go to Ian Rappaport, tell Ian Rappaport one thing, tell Adam Schefter one thing, and be like, you know what? Put this out for me, man. What are you hearing? Oh, you want to know what I'm hearing? Well, being the GM, I think Trey Lance has the highest potential. We're still thinking about him. Okay, go tweet that out. And then I'm going to go back. You know what? We're watching Justin Fields pro day because, we really like Mack Jones. That's been reported. We like him at number 3. But Justin Fields is just, we got to get a second look at him because we weren't able to see that as pro day. And honestly, I'm hearing more things about Justin Fields. So we got to do more legwork because we're not too sure if we're going to go with Mack Jones at 3. There's not a sure thing yet. We're still kind of on the fence. Okay, so put that out there. So now you're saying, oh, he told me Justin Fields, Mack Jones. Well, he told me Trey Lance. And they're going to both these guys' pro days. And then these are two sources that you trust. So now who do you trust overall? You don't. That's why it's a huge smokescreen. And then the teams behind them, Terry Fontenot's going to be looking, that's a Falcons GM being like, dude, okay, so this report is out. I'm looking at Twitter. And obviously they like Trey Lance now. We wanted Trey Lance at 4. We thought he would slip to 4. And Justin Fields, BEASTwriter saying he's going to number 3. But now they might go in Trey Lance based on what, Ian Rapsheet reported. So do we try to leapfrog the 49ers at number 2 for Trey Lance? I mean, that could very well be in play. What if there's going to be one crazy move inside the top 10. One crazy move. Mark my words. There's going to be at least one, if not 2 crazy moves inside the top 10. The Atlanta Falcons are going to be one of them. They're going to make a move. They're either going to trade back or they're going to leapfrog the Niners late for number 2 for if they want Zach Wilson or if they want Justin Fields or if they have their choice. Because they don't want Trevor Lawrence. I would say that's pretty much set in stone that they don't want Trevor Lawrence. They don't even expect him to be there. However, if they jump from 4 to 2, it could happen. Anything can happen in the NFL draft. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, anything can happen in the NFL draft. You know, like who would have thought the 49ers were going to trade up to number 3? And if you rewatch the press conference, you know, Kyle Shanahan said there are 3 quarterbacks. He did not say who. But in my mind, I think he was talking about Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I don't think Trey Lance is going to be drafted, even though it'll make me upset. You know, I do want him. But I think Kyle Shanahan really, really wants Zach Wilson. And when the Jets were like, you know what? If you guys want this kid for a reason, and we have your coach who was your assistant when you were in San Francisco,
right?
And you guys are doing almost a similar offense, we're not going to give that pick up. So then he's like, all right, we don't want to wait at 12. We don't want to move up to Carolina. We don't want to move. We want to get as close as possible to get a good quarterback. And Justin Fields fits that mark. Now, a lot of people saying, why would Kyle Shanahan want a dual threat quarterback? Well, when his father had John Elway, was able to run. Steve Young was able to run. But what did those 2 quarterbacks also have in common? They had good accuracy. They can throw the ball. And a lot of people have been, saying even Matt Schaub was able to roll out on a hook. He was able to move. Like, Kirk Cousins, is not the most mobile guy, but he's able to move in the pocket. He's able to move around. He's able to run. Now, he doesn't have the speed. Mack Jones doesn't have any of that. I'm sorry for all those Mack Jones people who are going to be hating on me, later, but I really don't care. Like, Mack Jones, in my mind, needs a system where he has a great offensive line to protect him.
Yeah.
Because in the NFL, it's different. It's different. Like, I've seen edge rushers who are like super fast. Like, they get by good, left tackles and right tackles and go after the quarterbacks. It's not like in college football where they're like 18, 19-year-old kids. So it's different. So Matt Jones I think he's, like 21, 22. He's going to be playing against guys who are like you said one time, 5-6 years older than him.
Yeah. Yep. It's gonna be a different beast, dude. It's just crazy. Like, again, the quarterback position, that's what everybody wants to talk about in San Francisco. Everyone's asking, Beast, what's your take? I'm sticking to my guns. It's not going to be Mac Jones, man. At the end of the day, all this Mac Jones talk, it's not going to be Mac Jones. Like, it's not coming from me. And then you guys can go back, if I'm right, but like, dude, BEASTwriter said it all along. Or you can be like, BEASTwriter was wrong. BEASTwriter was right or wrong. Either way, the truth is going to come out. But thank you so much, John Jay, for hopping on the show. I appreciate the love, bro. And mahalo.
All right, man. You have a good day, man.
Take it easy, my man. All right, we have Mexican Genome. How you doing today? Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up, man?
What's going on, boss? How you been?
I've been doing good. Am I fine? Is the connection good?
You're perfect, dude.
Okay.
You are perfect as ever. What's on your mind, my man?
All right, so you already know, if you remember from last show what I'm on that Trey Lance, hype train,
Which is good. There's nothing bad with that. Yeah.
So I just I want to discuss several things that have to do with him. First off, you make a good point on you need to get a quarterback who's has experience with the play action, bootleg passes and stuff like that. And if you watch Trey Lance at all, he's done those things, and he's been running an offense that's really similar to Kyle's, West Coast. So I feel like if you're talking about scheme fit, I would say Trey Lance is the perfect scheme fit. Not only that, I don't think it's debatable, or you might be able to say something. It might be a little bit of a debate, but I think me and you can agree that he has the strongest arm out of all these quarterbacks.
Yeah, he definitely has. It's not even close.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
So that's another plus. And if you want to discuss work ethic, you know, I'm pretty sure people know. I mean, that guy was told that he could not play quarterback and that he had to play defensive position. And you know, that's the reason why he went to North Dakota. He's like, no, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna prove you
Right.
wrong, work my butt off, and I'm gonna become a quarterback. And then he
Right.
has a historic 28 touchdown, 14 rushing TDs, 1,100 yards, and with a 66.7 completion percentage, I think, which is crazy, right?
Hmm.
So I feel like this guy is a freak who, if you believe in Kyle's ability to coach up a quarterback, that I feel like this is the guy you want Kyle Shanahan to get his hands onto.
Great points. I will say this. I will say you bring up great points on the stats on being a perfect scheme fit for the San Francisco 49ers. I would agree with you. I will say this. I think Zach Wilson, because he played at a higher competition and because I believe he had a better pro day, that's going to give him ultimately the edge over Trey Lance. Because again, it's a small sample size to pull from when you're coming out of North Dakota State and then going against BYU. What you're doing is you're trying to project talent. It's already hard enough, again, from the quarterback position to evaluate coming out of BYU. You're not going up against SEC talent, right? So you're going to have to project there. But take it a step further, peeling back another layer of the onion to get to the core, as I always like to say, Trey Lance didn't play against FBS competition, right? So it's not a knock on him, but it is a knock on him in terms of projecting how he's going to be at the NFL level. Because how many FBC quarterbacks actually made it out?
I mean, well, Carson Wentz came from
Carson Wentz was one, aside from him.
Yeah, not too many, but again, like that argument about like how many guys have came out of a certain school, I don't think that's like really the strongest thing. I mean, Steve Young, I think he's the only great quarterback to come out of BYU.
Schools different. I'm not talking about schools. I'm talking about conferences.
Conference.
You know what I'm saying? Like FBS, FBC. Like what division did they come out of? It's a small school. Like Quinn Miners. How many Division III products actually make it to the NFL? It's very slim. So when you run the analytics on it, they will tell you. The numbers will speak to you. That's why we take math classes. I mean, I hate math, but that's why we do it. I'm not saying Trey Lance is not going to be a superstar quarterback. Again, he has the most potential of any quarterback in this draft class. In fact, he might go to the Niners at 3. And I wouldn't be, let's put it this way, I'd be happier with Trey Lance at 3 than I would with Mack Jones at 3. I don't think anybody would be happy with Mack Jones at 3 unless I'm wrong. Do you want Mack Jones at 3?
No, not at all.
Tell me why you don't like Mack Jones. Tell me why. Tell me. I mean, people talk about, he doesn't look the part. Okay, we get that. But tell me why.
Yeah,
tell me why you don't like Mack Jones.
It's not really because of that. I feel like he will do all right in the NFL. I mean, if Kyle took Mack, I don't think I'd be as mad as everyone else would be, because like I said, I have faith in Kyle Shanahan that he could make something out of these guys. Because if a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo, who he wants to get rid of, can take this team to a Super Bowl, I don't see why Mack Jones, any of these other guys, couldn't do the same. Not even if they just reach the ceiling, if they reach like half their ceiling, because I feel like all of their potential is way higher than Jimmy's. So, but to get to the question that at hand, why I don't like Mac is because I feel like not entirely just because I think he's going to be bad. I feel like he was kind of like let's say, I don't want to be too harsh, like kind of a front runner. I feel like what he did during his tenure is, I don't think it was as impressive as what the other guys have shown, especially with what he has and the weapons compared to other guys. I mean, he has a wide receiver who whatchamacallit, I'm blanking right now. A potential like hope for receiver, and a bunch of NFL ready guys, and I don't think any of the other guys have as much NFL ready guys as he does. So I feel his accomplishments should not be taken with a little bit of a grain of salt. But
That makes
yeah,
sense.
I don't think I still think he's going to do fine. I'm not saying he's going to be complete garbage like everyone else is saying, but I just like you don't move up to 3 ahead of the Falcons to pick Mack Jones. I believe Mack Jones would have been available at 12. I don't think you.
Let's connect the dots here. All right, GM Scott Fitter, the new GM of the Carolina Panthers, just made a trade for Sam Darnold, giving up a 2, a 4, and a 6th-round draft pick. So obviously he's not sold on Mac Jones either at 8. For him to make that move, he wouldn't be sold on Mac Jones at 8, which tells you one thing. That's showing your cards right there. So if he's not sold on Mac Jones at 8, what makes you think that the Niners are going to be sold on Mac Jones at 3? Right? And I know it's 2 different GMs, but GMs talk and, you kind of peel back layers of the onion. Okay, cool. So if GM Scott Fitter doesn't want him at 8, obviously the Niners don't want him at 3. Well, you can't really say that because what if Kyle Shanahan really loves him and takes the player that he wants? Okay, but then would the Falcons take Mac Jones at 4? No, they wouldn't. So is Mac Jones a huge smokescreen at 3? Absolutely. I just think it's we're talking about a non-issue here. Mac Jones is not going to be the quarterback at number 3. He doesn't open up he does nothing. He doesn't add any value to Shanahan's offense whatsoever. And I'm a huge Roll Tide fan. You guys know this. I'm a huge Alabama Roll Tide fan. I watched Mac Jones over the years, over the course of his career for the better half of 2 years, covering on Hot Mic, covering the college football games that he's played in. Trust me, Mac Jones does not fit Kyle Shanahan's scheme. He does not. You need a quarterback who's a dual threat quarterback, number 1. That's the first thing you look for in that offense. If you don't have legs, if you're not mobile, you're not going to win football games, and you're not going to play for Kyle Shanahan because you can't extend plays with their feet, allowing the receivers to get open, buying them time, and extending plays and moving the chains, keeping the defenses off the football field. If you don't have the mobility to go ahead and win both inside and outside the pocket, what value do you add from the West Coast offense standpoint when you have to do those things, especially off play action pass, where 25 to 30% of the plays is off play action? Mac Jones does not come from a play action pass type of offense in Alabama.
Yeah, and he also likes his physical guys too. People aren't afraid to take a hit.
So that's what I'm saying. Mac Jones does stand tall and take a hit. I will say that. But when it comes down to it, again, I'm watching Justin Fields. I'm liking Zach Wilson, even Trey Lance. Any of those 3 quarterbacks, I'd be happy with. I would be happy with any of those 3 quarterbacks. Now, Trey Lance is raw, but hey, I would not be happy with Mac Jones. That's where we're going here. Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, cool. Mac Jones, not cool. And it's kind of like a no-brainer. Like, everyone knows that. Well, I shouldn't say everyone, because there are some people that like believe everything that Kyle Shanahan says and take John Lynch's words at face value. But at the end of the day, I just don't see it. I don't see any of those 2 really making a hard look and saying Mac Jones is going to be the guy, because ultimately what Shanahan is looking for is a pocket passer who can be a dual threat quarterback who can open up his playbook. With Jimmy Garoppolo, you have a compromised playbook, right? Because he can't make throws. He can't make. He doesn't make the Sid level throws, I like to call it, the short, intermediate, deep level throws. What he does do well is he game manages. He game manages games, and he does a really good job at that. And that wins football games. Okay, I don't care if you're a game manager. If you win football games, you saw with Alex Smith. Cool story, bro. But at the end of the day, this is not what we're talking about. We're talking about a total rebuild from the quarterback position to where Shanahan can open up his playbook, not have his hands handcuffed behind his back, so he can go ahead and make the proper adjustments to where he knows whoever's behind center, that's the guy that he can work with and not be hamstrung to the point where, dang, every week, do I have to scale back the playbook because we can't do some of these things? Because obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo can't throw on the run. How many times have you seen Jimmy Garoppolo throw on the run? Like, go outside, throw on the run. How many times have you seen that? No, I'm serious. Think back. How many times have you seen that?
Probably maybe during like
Without
when he
setting
first
his
came
feet.
in.
Without setting his feet, just throwing on the run. How many times have you seen them do that? Not very many, right?
You know, yeah.
What does
I
Mack
mean, I agree
Wilson
with
do?
you.
What does Trey Lance do? They throw on the run. What does Justin Fields do? They're very accurate in throwing on the run. This is what you're going to see at the pro days, bro. I'm telling you right now. Tomorrow's pro day with Justin Fields, he's going to be doing mainly throws on the run. And they'll be like, oh, BEASTwriter was right. Yeah, no crap. This is what the offense is tailored to do. You're not going to see anything other than Kyle Shanahan testing Justin Fields' mobility and accuracy, throwing on the proper shoulder to the receiver in stride, throwing on the run. I'm telling you right now, he's going to do all these naked bootlegs, having throwing, and then coming across this way, and then throwing that way and being accurate. And then obviously he's going to be throwing those deep balls on the third level because they want to see what Jimmy Garoppolo can't do. And if these quarterbacks can do what Jimmy Garoppolo can't do, they're going to draft that quarterback. And ultimately, Mack Jones is not going to be that guy. Because if you told Mack Jones to throw the run,
I mean,
game over. Why do you think at his pro day, did he do any throws on the run? I didn't see any.
No, but even yeah, I think a perfect answer to it is like, have you guys like seen Mack Jones try to run on RPO? It's embarrassing to say the least. So, and that just shuts down the whole side of Kyle's playbook. So, for a guy saying that Kyle Shanahan wants Mack Jones and guys that fit that Jimmy archetype, that's quite honestly, I feel like that's the wrong idea to have.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just don't think it's happened. Niners all day 55 says, what time is Phil's pro day tomorrow? Do you know the answer to that?
No, I could tell you. I just know the dates. I don't know the times.
I know.
I don't think it's gonna be televised though.
It's not going to be televised?
Yeah. It's not going to be televised. Yeah, I think it's going to be televised like last time.
All right. A guy called Ed.
Don't take my word for it, though.
No, you're fine. You're fine. A guy called Ed from the BEASTwriter fan says, do you remember how you scouted Alex Smith, Aaron Rodgers, and Jason Campbell? What do you think would have happened if A-Rod went first pick? How would Niners coaching management have affected him? Yes, I did. I didn't like the Alex Smith pick. I remember watching that draft. I didn't like the Alex Smith pick at all. I highly criticized that. I didn't like the Jason Campbell pick. I did like Aaron Rodgers to the Green Bay Packers just because he would be playing behind Brett Favre. However, I didn't think he was going to have the career and be the freaking quarterback that he was today, but I did like him over Alex Smith. How would the Niners coaching management have affected him? Well, I guess we would never know, right? We would never know because I don't know. I mean, I guess it would affect him somewhat. I mean, being a rookie quarterback playing behind that shaky offensive line, but I don't know how it would affect him. Okay, Joseph just says, I don't think it's going to be televised. So you're right. You're right, bro. All right. Is there anything else on your mind?
But, oh, yeah. Just that I think what Trey Lance was able to do in North Dakota State, I get it. He didn't play against like the toughest competition. I know, but I just feel like those zero turnovers, or not turnovers, interceptions, didn't just happen by chance. There's reasons for that. Even if you're playing at a smart school like that, like being able to not throw an interception is pretty impressive. But let's just go off stats. I think he has. I think he's better in the pocket and dealing with pressure than Justin Fields. I feel like he has better mechanics, better footwork. Although sometimes, whenever he's facing pressure and he has to roll out, he sometimes throws off his back foot. But other than that, I mean, if you want a good pocket passer, I think Trey Lance is actually an underrated pocket passer.
I would agree with you on that. I will say this. Okay, let's transition now. So we're talking about the quarterbacks, right? So we have some guys that are saying, Trent Payne from the BEASTwriter family says, so I think we wanted Fields, then Wilson looked stellar, and we decided to get pick 3 because either would be our pick. A guy called Ed says, Falcons, Broncos, Jets, Panthers to attend Justin Fields' second pro day as well. maybe Fields will go number 2. That could happen. You never know what can happen. Let's talk about some of the other things. Are you familiar with the wide receiver position? Are you there?
I haven't done much scout on it. No.
Okay. I was going to ask you for your input on who do you thought was the best pass catcher in this draft class. I have mine, but I wanted to hear your thoughts if you had any thoughts. It's okay. Well, thank you so much for hopping on the show, my man. I appreciate the love, and always a pleasure having you on.
All right, man. Yeah. Peace out.
All right. Take it easy, my man. All right. Well, that's it. We are pretty much set. That's on the BEASTwriter live stream. Shoot me over any questions you have, and you can hop on the live stream right here if you want to go ahead and do that. We have a lot of cool stuff coming on here. All right. Let's get to your questions. I wanted to touch base on some things that some of you guys were asking me when I wasn't on earlier live streams, talking about specifically the pass catchers in this NFL draft class. We talked about the quarterback position. Let's talk a little bit about the NFL draft moving forward as it pertains to the pass catchers. Ultimately, it comes down to 3 people. There's someone who says, who's the best pass catcher in this NFL draft class? Beast, who's the best pass catcher? Last year, I said it was Justin Jefferson. You guys know he was my draft crush, and people were like, no, really crazy? I said, yes, Justin Jefferson, and ultimately, we all know what happened there, 1,400 receiving yards this year. So you guys want to know my input this year. So I'm going to give it to you. The best pass catcher in this year's draft class is none other than Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith is this year's best pass catcher, and I'm going to break it down brick by brick why. And pass catcher, that includes Kyle Pitts. I think Devonta Smith is just slightly a bit higher than Kyle Pitts. And I'm going to break it down brick by brick as to why. All right. So for starters, let's talk about what I look for in my wide receiver positions. Well, you break it down in certain tiers, right? You break down players in certain tiers. But aside from that, you really have to know exactly what you're talking about in order to really sift through exactly what it is you're trying to evaluate. When it comes to pass catchers or wide receivers or tight ends, you're mainly looking for a lot of different factors, but most importantly, you're looking for the guy's hands, right? Does he have strong hands? That's number 1. Can he catch the ball? Secondly, I look for is he a savvy route runner? All right. Is he smart coming in clean and out of his breaks? Then I look at his ability to win after the catch by being explosiveness with his lateral agility. Well, Devonta Smith checks all the boxes and then some. All right. So when you look at Devonta Smith and you actually take down his body of work snap by snap, you will really learn to appreciate the things that he's able to do. All right. Now, the thing that you're going to be saying on Devonta Smith, well, the red flags is he's only 170 pounds, so he's built more like Deshaun Jackson as opposed to a guy like Calvin Johnson. Well, that's okay because I think Devonta Smith is going to be the next Marvin Harrison. That's how good I think Devonta Smith is. When you look at the skill sets that I just pointed out, my top 3 skill sets from the wide receiver position, he catches everything his way. He has a big catching radius for a guy his size. So he will make catches outside his frame. All right. Furthermore, he's not a bad body catcher, so he high points the ball at the catch point. So he's a catch point, high point winner. That's something you don't see very often for a 175-pound guy. And you take that a step further, let's double down on those gains as the route runner. What do you look for? Well, what do you mean? Does he run choppy routes? Or does he run sloppy routes? Or does he run clean routes? Well, he runs the full route tree. That's something you don't see from wide receivers or tight ends coming out of this draft class very often. And this is where Devonta Smith separates himself from Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts can line up next to the offensive tackle in the traditional tight end set. He can line up in the slot. He also can line up wide. But he doesn't run the full route tree. Furthermore, when it comes to Devonta Smith, he does. And he sinks his hips to run methodical, crisp routes coming in and out of his breaks. This is something you don't see with Kyle Pitts. Now, this is not a knock on Kyle Pitts. It's just something that he needs to learn. So if you're picking a wide receiver and betting on him today, I'm taking Devonta Smith all day long, especially from the route runner position standpoint. Now, let's double down on those gains even further. He doesn't take false steps. So he doesn't get too high. He doesn't get too low. He sinks his hips. One route, it could be a 7, 8, 9 maker, looks the same as if it's a in route or an out route. So you never know what you're getting with Devonta Smith. And with Kyle Pitts, he wins a lot of his routes based on his athletic physique. And that's not a knock on him. That's actually a plus. But what I'm saying is when you gain separation at the top of his route, you're seeing that more so with Devonta Smith's game as opposed to Kyle Pitts. So when you see a guy who can find the soft spots in zone coverage and wins on all three levels, Devonta Smith, to me, is the more complete pass catcher. All right. And then you talk about agility and explosiveness. Well, the proof is in the pudding, just like at Devonta Smith's game film, and you can turn that on. He's elusive in open space, has the lateral agility and quickness to make the first tackler miss. He can play inside in the slot. He can move outside. Devonta Smith is the real deal, and which is why I believe that he's the best pass catcher in this year's draft class. Yeah, so that's pretty much it there. What do you guys think about Devonta Smith? Are you guys high on Devonta Smith? And look, I know everyone's high on a guy by the name of Jamar Chase. Look, I covered Jamar Chase coming out of LSU, and he's a young pup. He probably could be the most explosive wide receiver coming out of this draft class between the 20s. However, with that being said, I look at Jamar Chase and I say, his route running needs some fine-tuning. He mainly runs vertical routes, 7, 8, 9 bangers. Now, that's not a knock on him, but it's something to take into account. Again, it goes back to what I look for from the wide receiver position in terms of the scouting evaluation process. I look at strong hands, route running, and then last but not least, agility, explosiveness, off the line of scrimmage, and does he win after the catch point? These are things that I look for, and Devonta Smith, to me, checks off all the boxes, and the only thing he doesn't check off the box is his height and his weight. Well, being 5'5" and 150 pounds would be a hypocrite because he'd be like, oh, he can't play. He's only 175 pounds and only 5'11" or 6 foot. Look at Marvin Harrison. Dude's a beast, right? So to say that Devonta Smith's height is a reason why you should be wary or be a buyer beware, I would be against that because you can't measure this right here. And what I'm pointing to is the size of your heart. And you can't coach heart. And we talk about work ethic, which is another checking off the box. Devonta Smith has the strongest work ethic of any player coming out of this draft class. And that's high praise coming from Nick Saban. So roll tide, roll. I don't know. That's just my take. All right. We have Gary. My friend Gary is on. Says, come on, Ryan. Why is everyone in such a fog? Trey Lance will make Shanahan a legend, which is very important to Kyle. Best of both worlds for him. He gets to let Jimmy G play himself in or out of the quarterback position and gets a full year to train his future star. Could very well be the case. All right. Bill said Jets also sent 15 staffers to Wilson's pro day. Could very well be true. Why not? You only have pro days to go after. You don't have the combine. Anthony Spruill says he wasn't the best on his team. So you're talking about Devonta Smith. You're saying Devonta Smith wasn't the best on the team. So you're saying Jalen Waddle was better than Devonta Smith. I would be quick to argue that for a number of different reasons. One, Devonta Smith, the coverage was rolled over to his side, which left Jalen Waddle 1-on-1 on the outside. And when he went down to injury, more of the focus was on Devonta Smith. So to say that Devonta Smith wasn't the best wide receiver on his own team in Alabama, oh my gosh, I'd be doing yourself a huge disservice. He was the Heisman Trophy winner for a reason. Not too many from the wide receiver position. If I remember, I think the last one was Desmond Howard, if I'm not mistaken, from Michigan, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. All right. Trent Payne says, yes, Devonta is wide receiver 1, but I'd still take Pitts. You can't go wrong with Pitts. Jerry Ann says, if Devonta Smith or Jamar Chase were in last year's draft, how would you rank him compared to Justin Jefferson and Brandon Ayuk? Well, I still have Justin Jefferson among definitely higher than Jamar Chase. Gosh, I like Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson would still be my wide receiver 1. I think Devonta Smith would be 2. Jamar Chase would be 3. Brandon Ayuk would be 4. Rexy Superman says, I'm late. Did Beast talk about Fields at 3? What is up, Rexy Superman? You're all good. Yes, I did talk about Fields at 3, but I can go ahead and talk about that again. For those who missed it, Justin Fields will be doing and conducting a second pro day. That's no new news to anyone. However, Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers coaching staff will be going ahead and running that pro day, which is interesting because again, this is what you're going to want to see from Justin Fields' pro day and Trey Lance's pro day. They're all going to be conducted in a format to where these quarterbacks are be running and scrambling outside the pocket, throwing on the run. The first pro days, you just saw the accuracy, right? As a pure pocket passer, drop backs. You didn't see them really running these naked bootlegs, these play action passes. You're going to see more of that right off the bat. You might start off warming them up on, a few hitches, a few quick slants, and so forth. Then once you start seeing the naked bootlegs where they're coming across this way, handing the ball off, and then circling around this way, and then throwing on the run, you're going to want to see the accuracy, not if the ball's completed or not. Because let me tell you something, if it's not thrown on the proper shoulder, that completion can quickly turn into an INT at the NFL level. So Shanahan's going to really put the pressure on these quarterbacks to see who can fit his style of play in his system, throwing on the run with those play action passes. All right. Bill says Niners all day. That's why they traded Donald so far after it became honest. Okay. Man. Gabriel's Azule for 49ers GT from the BEASTwriter fans. Is it true no media allowed? I'm not so sure on that. I don't know the answer to that. Niners all day 52. What the Jets going to do about those new season tickets? They have Donald on the. Yeah, I don't know. That's another question. I don't know. I have no idea how that's going to play out. And again, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I hope you guys had fun on this live stream. If you want to go ahead and talk to me live, just go ahead and do that. We're about an hour and 30 minutes in. If you didn't catch the live stream earlier on, not to worry. Once I upload this and it's saved, you can go back and replay it on rewind, which is always fine and fun. All right. So if you guys have any questions, shoot them over my way. Let's go ahead and talk about, again, Kyle Pitts. People want to talk about Kyle Pitts. People ask me, if you were the GM right now and you were stuck at 3, what would I do? Well, it's hard to say I wouldn't take a quarterback because you just traded multiple draft picks for a quarterback. You don't trade up all that draft capital not to take a quarterback. However, I'm a firm believer in taking the best player off the board. And it's hard to argue not taking a wide receiver like Devonta Smith, Jamar Chase, but then even a pass catcher like tight end Kyle Pitts. I mean, Kyle Pitts in the 49ers offense with Jimmy Garoppolo would save Jimmy Garoppolo's eyes and possibly his career, because you're not looking outside the numbers anymore. You're just looking down the seams. And who do you have on the opposite side of you? You have George Kittle. You can't double team everyone. So if you have George Kittle and Kyle Pitts just running down the seams, that's your 1 and 2nd read. And one of those reads is going to be open more often than not. Why not take Kyle Pitts? That would be amazing. But people say that's a luxury pick, but I don't know, because at the end of the day, Kyle Pitts, just like any quarterback coming out of this draft class who has dual threat ability, would open up the playbook, especially helping out the red zone efficiency. I don't know. I just love talking football. What else we got going on here? Sanjo Sunny says, what's good, Beast? I'm tapping a bit late, but hope all is well. Lance is our pick. Everyone's saying Trey Lance is a pick. Okay, I get the logic there, and I wouldn't be upset with that. A guy called Ed says, if Fields Lance do poorly on their second pro day, could it greatly affect the scouting on them? Depends how poorly they play, but ultimately, I don't think one day is gonna move the needle that much. I think they just want to get a second look at these quarterbacks and see if they can actually go and run the plays that they're asked under the system that the 49ers run. All right. Niners All Day says, when is your next live? My next live stream will be tomorrow, and tomorrow is what? Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this. We are having a former 49ers player hopping onto the live stream on Thursday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is right. We are having more 49ers, former 49ers players coming on the show, and they're part of the BEASTwriter family, obviously. So they said, you know what, Ryan, I want to help you out. Of course I'll do it. So we're going to have my man Dylan Farrell, former San Francisco 49er offensive lineman, played under Harbaugh, played under Jim Tomsula. He will be hopping on the show at 2:30 p.m. on our live stream on Thursday. So be sure to hit the subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner of your screen as you stay up to date on all things Beast in real time, or just go to www.youtube.com/BEASTwriter and you can subscribe there. So I'm really happy that we're going to have Dylan Farrell on our 2:30 p.m. live stream. Good friend and mentor, really good guy there. He will be on the live stream again on Thursday, 2:30 p.m. And I'll be doing another live stream, obviously, tomorrow, as I do every single day. I missed a few because of construction here at the house, but we're back on it. I am here, and that's why I'm on the show. All right. A guy called Ed. Some mocks have Pitts going to Miami. Would that make Gesicki available through trade? Ooh, maybe. That could be a possibility, although, yeah, if Pitts is available, oh my gosh, just think. Tua Tagovailoa. Well, hey, what if they keep Gesicki? Just like Kittle and Pitts, 1 and 2. Well, why not keep Gesicki and Pitts? And then Tua Tagovailoa doesn't have to make very many reads because he's just looking down the seams between the numbers. Or sorry, down the hashes, I should say. All right, Jerry Yang says, I feel the right answer on what you would do on 3 is to not make that trade in the first place. Yes, I would not have made that trade to trade up to number 3, giving up all that draft capital in return. I just wouldn't do it. I like my draft capital. I'm stingy like that. I like to build through the draft where I don't have to overpay for highly priced free agents, where I entertain bidding wars for a guy that needs to fill a need just because he's a free agent. I'd rather build through the draft, reward those players, keep that homegrown talent in-house, like DeForest Buckner, and go that route. Robert from YouTube BEASTwriter Family says, why is Mack Jones driving while intoxicated getting swept under the rug? It's not. I mean, it's out there, but I don't know why people are not talking about it. I don't know. Bill says, Kittle and Pitts would be unstoppable to stop. Yes, I would agree with you. 110%. He said it would literally change the game. It really would. It really would. All right. We have Gabriel Azule says, thanks, Beast, for the great content, man. Looking forward to the next one. Thank you so much, Gabriel. Appreciate for the love and mahalo. And if you have yet to subscribe to the BEASTwriter family, go ahead and do that so you'll be entered to win this farewell season, the Candlestick Flag. This was supposed to go to Anthony Lozano. However, Anthony has not been hitting me back up. I tried reaching out to him on numerous occasions. So we are just going to go ahead and give this giveaway again out. So again, if you have yet to subscribe to the channel, go ahead and do that so you'll be entered for this farewell to Candlestick Flag. And again, if you're not a 49er fan, not to worry. Just go and head over to the team store and pick up a value of $25 or more. Gift, that is. And I will get that shot over to you. And for those who are wondering, we're also, you see this BEASTwriter family logo? Yeah, it's cool. It's swaggy. We know it. We are going to make t-shirts, and we're going to run those as giveaways as well. If you'd like to purchase one, you can go ahead and do that as well. So this is going to be really fun here in the BEASTwriter family. We're just going to keep the movement going. And again, for those who are just tuning in, we're having former 49ers on our live show in the coming weeks and days, I should say. First one on Thursday, or another one on Thursday, I should say. We already had Chuman on. All right. Sandro saying, I disagree with the notion that we should have never traded up. We are in a position that we won't be in again. All the injuries we had in this season is an anomaly. Trading up to get either Lance or Fields, 1 or 2. Okay, I see your point. I think for me, I think it's too much because, again, if you watch Jim Trotter's live stream here in the BEASTwriter family, how many of these quarterbacks actually pan out and how much draft capital did they have that set these franchises back 5 to 10 years, mortgaging their future? I mean, anytime you give away multiple first-round picks and a third-round pick in return, a 4-for-1 deal, you have to be absolute sure that that quarterback is going to pan out. I'm not so sold that Justin Fields is going to pan out or Trey Lance. Now, they could. Not saying they won't, but the odds are not in their favor. I would have rather them to sit at 12 and, to be honest with you, maybe trade up to number 8 with the Carolina Panthers or kind of move into that range and have a quarterback fall there. Now, if there's a quarterback that doesn't fall there, well, then you select the best player at 8 and you did your best. Or you can just stay pat at 12, take the best player on the board, let the board talk to you as it should, and get a guy like J.C. Horn out of South Carolina who might fall to the Niners at number 12 if they had that pick. Heck, double down on that. Who knows about Rashawn Slater? He might slide down because all these quarterbacks are getting pushed up. Penei Sewell might slide out of the top 10 based on my current mock. He could be the best left tackle in this year's draft class. And if you want to play him to the right side to team up with Trent Williams because he's not sure about Mike McGlinchey, why not go that route? And whoever your quarterback you draft in the second, third round, whether it's Kyle Trask or Kellen Mond, go that route. So there's a lot of different ways we can go about doing that. I don't know. But I see what you're saying. That makes sense. I see what you're saying, Sanjo Sunny. And Good analysis. He says, we'll secure our quarterback for the next 2 decades. Then one of them will be a late 2, not including free trade Jimmy G or a good healthy season. Very interesting. Very interesting points. All right. Frank Bruder says, love to see the Patriots trade for Jimmy G for the first round pick and draft Harris. Something I pointed out in my earlier live podcast, or actually my earlier podcast, it wasn't live. Oh yeah, it was. Wasn't it live? I think it was live. That's what I said that would play out. But I didn't say for a first-round pick. I said it was for a second-round pick. Sandro Stein, everybody says we messed up for passing on Mahomes and Watson, but you can't hold that Niners to that because if everybody remembers, they weren't picked in the top 5. All right. We got a lot of stuff. A guy called Ed from the BEASTwriter family. Last year, the top wide receivers were projected to go earlier. Generally, they ended up falling. Could that happen again this year? Could Chase and Smith fall out of the top 9? Hey, anything can happen, but ultimately, I don't see Chase falling out of the top 9. Devonta Smith could fall out of the top 9. I think there's more teams that are higher on Chase than they are Devonta Smith because of his weight problem. Or concerns. It's not even a problem. All right. Trent says, bro, their job is to pick the best quarterback. I'd argue that that's the number 1 priority. Yep. We'll see how that turns out because ultimately that priority is going to be a make or break for John Lynch or Kyle Shanahan as to their fate. All right. Niners All Day 55 from the BEASTwriter family says, we sent Mike Shanahan and 3 scouts to Fields Pro Day, so the argument that the Niners went to Mack Jones Pro Day instead of Fields just makes your argument worse. All right. Chauncey from Tyndall says, I want Mack Jones in San Francisco. Okay. All right. Sanjo Senni says, from the BEASTwriter family, big, but though the teams that always trade up are not a fully built team like ours, which team has really moved up and that a contending team in the same year they ended up trading. Remember the success of the really depends on what kind of team they land on. Absolutely. That's absolutely true. And I would agree with that 110%. Good analysis, Sanjo Sunny. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for the BEASTwriter live stream here for Taco Tuesdays. I hope you liked what we had to say. If you did, please hit the subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner of your screen as you stay up to date on all things Beast in real time. Also, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel, you want to do that because you will be entered for this Family Friday giveaway, 2:30 p.m. on our live stream as we do another giveaway. This farewell season, the candlestick flag. Again, this was supposed to go to Anthony Lozano. Anthony, if you're watching, dude, I tried reaching out to you like, I don't know how many times and no response. So I'm going to have to give this away. You will still get a prize, but ultimately I have to give this one away because you're not responding to me, bro. So again, we're giving away this 49ers farewell season and candlestick flag. It's a memorable collector's item. You can't get it. You can't buy it on eBay. You can't buy it on Amazon. They don't sell it because obviously you have to be at the game to get it. And it was the opening day game against the Green Bay Packers. So be sure to go ahead and subscribe to your boy. All right, well, that'll be it for today. Thank you so much. I hope you liked what we had to say. And again, for everyone who sent me the super chat and super stickers, I really appreciate the love and support. Mahalo, mahalo. That's it for this live stream. BEASTwriter out.